Hey guys, Joe here, and today I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the proper way to be working with the ProRes RAW files off the Nikon Z6 and just why some people have kind of been misinterpreting this, the actual way to grade it and just showing kind of the improper way to be working with it. So I guess really the best way to show you this is just really pretty much show you how it's done. But first I just want to kind of go over what people are showing that's incorrect. And basically what they're doing is they're clicking on their library and they're setting it to wide gamut HDR. Some people aren't showing this, but what you have to remember here is that we're not making HDR content. Most of us are delivering Rec 709 content, so there really is no reason to be working in a color processing space for HDR content. So for what we're doing today, we're going to leave it in just a standard color processing. And then the next thing that they're doing is they're actually clicking on each individual clip, and because they're seeing that it's overexposed here, they're coming into their color boards, and then they're going to drop their highlights right on down. And yeah, that does work, but you have to remember now, if I want to grade this clip, I have to come in here and drop my highlights down again. And I'll have to do that for every single clip. I mean, what I could do is I could make a effects preset, right? I could make a preset and then apply that across the board globally. But I mean, every clip isn't going to be the same perceived overexposure. And the reason it looks overexposed too, this is actually important to know, is that basically it's not overexposed at all. It's conforming a linear gamma. So essentially what a linear gamma is if you imagine your curves kind of as a straight across, that's basically what a linear gamma is. Whereas like a log footage is kind of like an angle like this, where it kind of flattens out. But basically, Final Cut is conforming a linear gamma to a Rec 709 space. It doesn't know how to understand that linear gamma, and that's why it looks overexposed. So let's actually talk now about the proper way to be working with this footage. So normally what would happen when you work with ProRes RAW inside of Final Cut is that automatically based on the metadata. So I'm in this information tab here for a clip. I'll just click on this clip of me. And you can see in here, if you don't see all this, you can click down and click on general or extended. I like extended because it really shows everything. And then you can see in here, under here, device manufacturer and device model name. So these two options right here, it's metadata encoded onto the file. And what normally would happen with ProRes RAW, say you're shooting on like a Sony Venice camera, is that it would read these little metadata inputs right here, and it would automatically apply what's called a raw to log conversion. And that would result in an image that looks like this straight into Final Cut, which all this is now is a standard log file, basically, that most of you are probably familiar with working with. And this would be done automatically. But the reason it doesn't happen automatically for the Z6 is because Atomos and Nikon have not released the actual raw to log conversion for it yet, which I'm assuming will come out within the next few months in the next Final Cut update. But if not, this will be the way that you're going to have to work with this footage pretty much, like indefinitely, unless they release it. So basically, for every clip, what I normally do, my mouse is acting up a little bit here. It is wireless. But what I'll normally do when I import is I'll select every clip, and then I will apply a raw to log conversion for them. You can work with that, whichever one you're familiar with. I'm familiar with S-Log3, so that's the one I use. And you'll see that every clip now is kind of conformed to the same look, basically. They're all S-Log files. So all of these now are pretty much just log files that you can work with just like any other log footage. That's basically it. That's the proper way to really be working with this footage right now. Normally it would be done automatically, of course, if that metadata was correct to a raw to log conversion that was available. But since that isn't released, this is the proper way to be working with it now. And it's as simple as that, really. So basically when you import your footage, apply a raw to log conversion. That's how it works. But I will take this one step further now and kind of show you a way to get a very solid image out of the camera with just 2 clicks. So I've been using these Alistair Chapman LUTs here. They're available on his website. I'll link it down below. But they're free, and they're designed for S-Log3, so they're designed for the Sony Venice cameras, the A7R, A7S, pretty much cameras that shoot S-Log3. So you are going to want to be working with this raw to log conversion for S-Log3. You're not going to want to apply this to the other ones. But you can come down to this Camera LUT tab now, and if you imported them, or you can go to Add Custom Lut if you just have it in a folder somewhere. And the one that I've been really liking is the -1p50, which is basically 1.5 exposure points down. And if I click on that, you'll see that very quickly with 2 clicks, a raw to log conversion, and then a camera LUT, my image is pretty much usable just like that. But the other thing that's very cool about this is because this is still ProRes RAW, you still have all that latitude of the color space and the basically wide amount of data that's available here, that you could still come in here and change your saturation and just do whatever you want to this image, and you could still add LUTs to it, do anything, because it still is ProRes RAW. It's just that now it's pretty much conformed to a look. The same thing applies to like this clip here. If I want to show you here, make sure you do have the clip selected if you want to apply anything to it. And I can apply the same Alistair Chapman V-look. And there we go, 2 clicks. I got a usable image. If I want to come in here and maybe fine tune the blacks a little bit, drop them down, lower these a little bit, maybe raise them up. But that's basically it. That's pretty much how you should be working with this footage. Very short video today, but it's just been kind of interesting how people haven't really been showing the proper way to do this, because that's basically the standard workflow for ProRes RAW, is that it should apply a raw to log conversion by default automatically, but since it's not available for this camera yet, you have to do this workaround for now. But that's it, guys, really. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps some of you out. And if you have any questions, drop them below, and I'll be glad to help out with it. So I'll see you next time. Peace.